Welcome to Husker Storm Blog. This is week 14, championship week. Last week definitely lacked the chaos from the previous week, but rather there were some blowouts. LSU came out slow against the Hogs, but in the end dismantled an overrated team. Virginia pleaded a no contest in its game versus Va Tech, and yet again, Clemson offense stunk, and they got lit up by South Carolina. Penn State lost all emotion in a Badgers thrashing. Notre Dame's offense yet again looked self-destructing in a highly penalized game against the Cardinal. Houston impressed again against a solid team. This was the best team on their schedule thus far, and they impressed. That's a Tulsa team that's only losses were to three top 10 teams: Okie State, Oklahoma, and Boise State. And another A&M collapse and the Longhorns win. Georgia down the Hornets in solid fashion. Bama rolled Auburn under Heisman winner, potentially, Trent Richardson. Impressive performance by Nebraska's defense. It's official. Pro-style offenses is what Nebraska shuts down. The offense was solid, but went vanilla too quickly, I thought. Yes, Martinez was injured, and they couldn't run with him in the second half. And Burkhead's day was pretty much over with about 9 minutes left in the game. But why not Carnes? Get the kid some time. You're up 20.
And he's still on the bench. I mean, man, it was the same exact play over and over, just to run right up the middle. Nothing unique. Taylor Martinez would do that little move and then head it off. Or it was a toss. And then there's one read option. It's like, come on. I know you don't want to run up the score, but, I mean, your defense could have got a shutout if your offense wouldn't win. I think it was 3 and out in their last 3 drives, and it wasn't because Iowa stopped you. It's easy for a solid defense to stop somebody who's doing the same stuff over and over and over. But it was an impressive performance anyway, so. And it was a great way to end this season, I'd say. I got NU going to the Capital One Bowl versus one of possibly 3 SEC schools. Arkansas seems the most likely. Georgia possibly, but I don't think they'll go there with the loss in the SEC championship. They'll probably fall to the Outback. South Carolina could sneak in, considering I don't think they've played there. And if they have, it hasn't been a while. But a Michigan State loss in the Big Ten championship would automatically put NU there, I think. And a Whiskey loss would probably be 50-50. Nebraska's a hot commodity right now for the bowl game. So, but anyways, even if we go to the Outback, we'll play a top 15 SEC school. So, and a win would be a great momentum in recruiting and next year, which I think will be a really good year for Nebraska. So let's get started on this week's predictions. West Virginia cruises over USF. Southern Florida's having a disappointing season, and West Virginia's going to get that Big East crown. 37-17. UCLA at Oregon. Way to start off the Pac-12 pathetic championship. 62-16. Oregon is smelling roses. Southern Miss at Houston. How is Southern Miss ranked? I mean, they lost to University of Alabama Birmingham. Come on. This game will be sweet for Houston because they will be tasting sugar after this one. 41-20. Texas at Baylor. RG3 will win the Heisman based off this performance. 45-30 Baylor. LSU in Georgia. Can I hear who cares series? After this win, LSU should be handed the national championship trophy. But instead, they have to go play a team they already beat on the road. That's the BCS, and I expect a low-scoring bloodbath in this one. LSU 20-9. Yes, that's right. Bulldogs don't get in the end zone. Wisconsin, Michigan State, revenge. Badgers are rolling, and they will be rolling with roses after this one. 38-31. Virginia Tech and Clemson. Talk about pathetic last 2 performances for the Tigers. They rolled the Hokies earlier this year on the road, but the Hokies are hot and they win this one easily, 27-17. OU at Okie State. The Cowboys are BCS bound, and then if BCS wasn't so dumb, they let them get a shot at LSU, but OU plays a 6-loss Pac-12 team in their bowl game, probably the Holiday Bowl. I'm going to take Okie State 38-30. So that's it for this week's predictions. But we're not going to end the show early. We're going to talk about our BCS game predictions. Whiskey and Oregon, this will be completely opposite of the national championship. All offense. By far the best game out of the BCS games. Even though both teams boast solid defenses, pretty good defenses, underrated defenses, they don't match up well. Oregon lacks the physicality needed to stop the Whiskey running game. And Whiskey is too slow on defense. Oregon by a smidge. Okie State and Stanford, interesting contrast of styles, but Okie is too much for the Cardinal. Another shootout, but the Pac-12 loses this one. Michigan and Houston, another shootout. So we got 3 shootouts so far in the BCS. I mean, I don't see none of these teams have the Alabama LSU style of defenses. You don't see Michigan State out there or Georgia out there defensively. I think Shoelace is going to run wild in this one. Keenan flexes his guns, but the better defense prevails. One more reads and a good one. Virginia Tech and West Virginia. This is a who cares game, serious. The Big East AQ status will yet again be questioned. Virginia Tech wins easily, but I don't think they're going to win this one big. LSU and Bama, and not again. Are you kidding me? I enjoyed the first game, but LSU shouldn't have to beat a team twice. It would be a real tragedy if Bama wins, but I think LSU is a better team all around and wins a higher scoring version. And by higher scoring, I mean somebody might get in the end zone, possibly. So LSU national champs. Check back as we talk about the bowl games, and we'll break down the BCS bowls, Nebraska's bowl game, and it'll be interesting to see. We'll talk about what we think each conference will do, and definitely it's going to be a good bowl season, I think. Thanks for listening.